Jarod Lucas from Oregon State. We want to get to know you more. Jarod, I just want to ask first, what is your playing style?
I'm a point guard, shooting guard, combo guard is kind of what they call me. I'm a guy that shoots a lot of threes. This year, I think I led the Pac-12 in three-pointers made. I'm a type of guy to really put it up, but I'm also capable of scoring the ball as well. I think that's my best capability, scoring the ball and kind of, I'm not the fastest, but like I said, shooting the ball is one of my better capabilities.
Hello online world, hello Ka-OTR. This is Off the Record with Migs, Bustos. And for today's episode, isa po muli tayong episode ng Fast Facts. In our previous episodes, we got to know the PBA draftees more like Joshua Monzon, Jamie Malonzo, Calvin Oftana, etc. And now we have a special guest from the United States. He's in California right now. We'll get to know him better because he played for Oregon State and also was part of the Elite Eight team that played in the March Madness just recently this year. Introducing to you Jarod Lucas. What's up, Jarod?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, Migs. It's great to be on.
Jarod, how are you? I just want to get to know you first. Of course, the Filipino audience also who are watching this video. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
I'm 21 years old. Like you mentioned, I play for Oregon State University. I played for my dad at my high school in Southern California, where I stay is probably about 20 minutes east of LA. I'm a guy that loves the game of basketball. I'm Filipino, family originally from Samar. My grandpa was Filipino Hawaiian.
All right, so there you have it. So Jarod Lucas is a proud Filipino American representing the country, of course, in the name of basketball, especially in the NCAA. But before we continue this interview, please do subscribe to Off the Record with Mix Bustos, youtube.com/Mix Bustos, and be part of the OTR community. All right, so let's start this fast facts. Are you ready, Jarod? Let's go.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. All right, so you mentioned earlier your Philippine roots. That's from Samar, right? So maybe if you have a little bit of info, what you know about your roots, and can you tell us more about that?
I know that my family is from Samar. I believe I still have a couple cousins over there. My aunt told me that she's kind of tried her best to stay in contact with. And then she was also mentioning to me we might have had some type of farm out in Samar. Like I had mentioned, I haven't been to the Philippines, but it's also something I want to do as well.
I know, Jarod, that you were supposed to be part of the Phil USA select team a couple of years ago. Jalen Green and Kihei Clark. That was called the NBTC tournament, usually in March. So can you tell us more a bit about that story when you almost went to the Philippines and played for that team?
Like you had said, I was really close to doing it. I knew that Jalen Green, Kihei, they even mentioned maybe possibly Kamaka Hepa going out there as well. And so I was thinking, wow, that's almost a no-brainer to go, obviously, to interact with the Filipino community as well as interact with other FIL-AM players from across the country. So I almost did it, but it was right in the middle of my high school season, so I would have missed a couple weeks of school. And I think it was my senior year of high school, so I was still trying to graduate. So it wouldn't have been the easiest to do it, but it's something I really wish I would have done.
And of course, senior year is one of the best times in high school. You wouldn't want to miss it. All the highlights, prom, graduation, senior day, right? I know it's a
Yep.
big thing when you celebrate senior day. When it's like your last game, you're gonna play, of course, when you are a senior. But now, Jarod, the Filipinos are very familiar with the likes of Duke, North Carolina, UCLA. When Kobe Paras played for Creighton, it rang a bell. And now Filipino Americans all over are playing in different colleges in the United States. You played for Oregon State Beavers. Just want to know what was the recruitment process like and why Oregon State?
For me, like I mentioned, I'm from Southern California. It was always a dream of mine to play in the Pac-12, the same conference as UCLA. I'm from Southern California, right where UCLA is. So for me, I always wanted to play against those guys. I wanted to play against, the likes of UCLA and USC. But I was very fortunate to go to Oregon State, a team that made it all the way to the Elite Eight. We actually won the Pac-12 conference that has the teams of the likes of UCLA and USC. So my team came out on top this year at Oregon State.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jarod, you also had your career high Is that, if I'm not mistaken, against Stanford, 26
Yes.
points in one of
Yep.
those games during this year. Congratulations on that. But also, we want to get to know, of course, the pandemic-ridden uh, Earth or globe is right here and very present. But in the United States, sports goes on, right? What is it like playing, in the NCAA tournament, especially with a different atmosphere?
Obviously, like you mentioned, for everybody across the world, it was hard. It wasn't easy for anybody, but for us, in NCAA tournament, we got tested every morning. So every morning you'd wake up 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, depending on what time you had played that day, and you got tested. Everybody, actually, I don't think a lot of people knew this. Everywhere you went, you had a chip that kind of tracked you or where you went, who you interacted with. We were fortunate enough. There was one team in the NCAA tournament that contracted COVID, and they had removed right away VCU, and they were removed. So having those tracking devices kind of helped us, but it was also cool knowing that it was a once in a lifetime tournament, playing in the NCAA tournament, being in a bubble. It was cool to be able to interact with all the other athletes from universities from all over.
Well, I have a follow-up question. You mentioned that you get tested every morning. So, do you get like the chills, or maybe get kind of nervous when you get before you get tested? It's like, I hope I'm not positive, because one positive case can like drive your season away. What was that like for you and your team on a daily basis?
It was definitely nervous. Eventually, you got used to it, but it was also scary at the same time. Like you had mentioned, one positive test, and that's at least a 2 week quarantine for your team. And for anybody in any sport, being away from your sport for 2 weeks or more can really kind of hurt somebody's season and hurt the amount of time you spend in the gym as well.
Jared, what was it like, for Oregon to make it to the Elite Eight? There's a team that is known to be struggling, right? But finally this year, you broke through, made it to the Elite Eight. What was that like for your school and your team?
It was great. The amount of love I've felt from Corvallis and Oregon State's been amazing. It was our first Pac-12 tournament championship since 1990, since Gary Payton was at the school. So it was amazing. But it was great being able to do it with a good group of guys. We had won 3 straight games. We had to win 3 straight games to make it to the tournament, because we were never supposed to be expected to play in that tournament. We won 3 straight games. We went in as a 12 seed. We were projected last place in our conference. Went in as a 12 seed because there's 16 teams in the NCAA tournament, or 16 seeds. And we got 3 straight upsets, made it to the Elite Eight, and eventually lost to Houston, who went to the Final Four.
Now, also on a more personal note, maybe you can take us through what you go through every day. What is it like playing during a pandemic, even before March Madness? This started in 2020. If I'm not mistaken, the season was put to a stop for a bit, and then you guys resumed. What was it like for you during those times?
It was hard. It wasn't easy being in lockdown, just like everybody was. But it helped me get closer to my teammates. It helped me to look a little further into basketball film. I'm somebody that loves watching basketball, but when you're bored, you kind of find ways to do stuff that you love. So I really looked into basketball, looked at the game film, looked at ways I can improve from a video standpoint. And I believe that's one of the bigger ways, is what I've seen from a lot of pros, watching video. That's how you can become great, just like them.
All right, so now let's get to a little bit more fun on the fun part, a funner part of this segment. Of course, we want to be able to visualize on, besides from the highlights that we see on YouTube, want to be able to visualize on what kind of player Jarod Lucas is. So, to which NBA player do you compare yourself to, Jarod?
Tyler Herro, especially recently. Tyler Herro, I think it's a good comparison for me. I think he probably has me by 1 more inch in height, but we're both really good shooters. Obviously, he's in the NBA, and I'm working to get there. But I think Tyler Herro.
Pull up three or step back, J?
Pull up three. I like my right to left. Pull up three. Hopefully, it's in somebody's face. 3 ball.
Game on the line. 5 seconds left. You have the ball.
Most likely, I'm not passing it. I'm not passing it. I'm shooting the ball, and I'm giving him it's a right to left between the legs. Hezzy 3 for the game. Game over.
Game over. Even though you're down one, down two, that's gonna be it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a 3. It's a 3 ball, right to left.
All right. So you also played for Compton Magic, right? So can you tell us more about that experience?
It was a great experience. We ended up being the number one team in the country my senior year. We had five All-Americans. We had Johnny Juzang, Isaiah Mobley, Evan Mobley, who are all, eventually going to be NBA guys. All three might be going to the NBA draft this year. That was a great experience. It helped me be the player that I am today, playing with, like I said, five All-Americans.
Wow. All right. So those are notable players from the NCAA. Johnny Juzang, of course, from UCLA, part of the outstanding five. And what is it like, Jared? Knowing that these guys, you were with them, playing with them during your earlier years. Now they're kind of making it big. Of course, they're kind of older than you, right? But what's it like?
Yeah.
Is it like a surreal feeling that wow, these guys are making it?
Yeah, it's a great feeling, especially as a friend or former teammate, to see everybody so successful. But it also helps motivate me to know that one day I can get to that level if I keep on working.
True. All right. Knock on wood. Jared, any wild basketball related injury?
No, like you said, knock on wood. I've been very fortunate.
Okay, so let's keep it at that. All right. Are you open to play for Gilas Pilipinas?
Of course, of course. I always take a lot of pride being a Filipino young man.
All right. Lastly, Jared, ultimate basketball dream.
Um, to be the all-time leading scorer at Oregon State and then make it to the NBA.
All right. So lastly, Jared, your message to the crazy Filipino basketball fans.
Let's just keep on getting better as a community, and then for myself, I'm gonna keep on getting better. And I definitely feel the love from the Philippines, and I'm looking forward to getting more love from other Filipino basketball and sports fans.
All right, so there you have it, Jarod Lucas from Oregon State Beavers. Congratulations, Jared, on your achievements this year, and wishing you the best, of course, in your collegiate, and of course, hopefully, you make it to the NBA. Jarod Lucas, thank you so much for joining us here on Off the Record, and see you guys in the next episode.